name is Mos Munyarati Chuma. I work under Turning Matebeleland Green in Bulawayo, but it's an organization that initially started working in the Matebeleland area, but has found its work spreading to all provinces of the country, Zimbabwe. Hence the name TMG, which means we can work in Swingo, Nikaland, Midlands, Mashonaland, and still turn those areas green. I am a value chain development specialist or value chain development officer with the organization, meaning that I work with farmers from the point where small scale farmers, from the point where they believe that they are now going into farming business. And we then develop the business models that they want to develop or to work on, and see that they commercialize their farming enterprises. The amazing thing we have seen, having gone around just this week, we went to Shurugwi, we've been to Lupane, we've been to Gwanda, we have come here to Honde, Manikaland, following up on communities that we trained sometime in October, beginning November. And from the onset, I'm amazed at the desire to do farming on a larger scale than normal. I'm amazed at the desire to commercialize entities and become more commercial in terms of their supply into the market. But there are obvious challenges that farmers come across. And some of the challenges are situational. Like for instance, we are here in Honde Valley. There is an abundance of water. So much water that farmers possibly don't even know what to do with it. But we have been in Lupane, where there is hardly any water, or Gwanda, where there is hardly any water. So through some of the trainings we do at Turning Matebeleland Green, we have come up with a response to climate smart agriculture, where we are saying it's still possible to farm in Matebeleland South, which is Region 5, Region 4, Region 5, where water is not so much an abundant resource, but where we can harness the little water resource that is there to make commercial good. And these are trainings that we do run over 5 days. And by the end of those trainings, when the farmers have seen what we are already doing with other farmers like them in Matebeleland, they come back inspired to do even bigger and better where they come from. So there is a need to then capacitate farmers with the requisite skill, but also the requisite infrastructure for them to be able to maximize on what they have. Yeah. I think the first thing that I would say in terms of responding to your question is in those areas that have challenges with water, is finding a reliable water source, first and foremost. Water is life. Water is everything. It doesn't matter how much we can farm, but if we don't have the water, we may not be able to do the kind of farming that can sustain any community or sustain a family for that matter. So that's the first thing. So we need to find sustainable water sources. Secondarily, we need to find irrigation methods that help us to conserve the liquid water. So the model that we train as TMG when it comes to farming is to the use of drip irrigation, which sometimes is beyond the reach of the average farmer, but will give us the best in terms of ensuring that crops are irrigated and we are conserving water the same. What we have realized is that without a proper method of irrigation, we will go ahead and plant. We will go ahead and do what we do, but we can still waste the little scarce resource. One of the saddest things that we came across was a family that had dug a well that used to do so well, and I think it was catching a tributary maybe from the Shangani River in Lupane there, but has suddenly run dry and they can't do anything. So, as much as um farmers are willing to farm, we need to help source reliable water sources, sustainable water sources that will help the same farmers to then up their game in terms of the work that they do and in building resources and farming better. Yes, so there is a way of getting nutritional uh, food foodstuffs that add nutrition and have a nutritional value, but it's the method of farming those crops that we are worried about in terms of then making sure farmers are sustained. It's my first time in most of these areas, especially on this particular assignment, and it would be too early for me to suggest too many things. But one of the things that we do from a TMG point of view is to offer market linkages, find linkages with markets, as, and having known that there is product that is here. For instance, I'm in Honde Valley today, and they have an abundance of bananas, which they are selling at a very reasonable price, 20 cents per kg. Even if you factored in your transport costs and other things, you possibly could land those in the bigger markets like Bulawayo or Harare at possibly 50 cents per kg or slightly more. Um, we are going to work on a model that can help to become an off-taker and probably suggest that. The only thing that we are weary about is the place of middlemen that don't want to add value to the farmer. We are a farming organization. We understand the burden of producing. We understand the burden of working so hard and, and having no market to sell your product. So we probably want to come in and come up with a model that I cannot express immediately, but we will be able to share at a later stage once we have engaged our principals and seen and given them certain possibilities around what can be done out here. But for me, I believe, yes, markets can be a challenge. But the other thing that we need to understand as farmers is that there is a place where farmers are not watching their cost of production. And so they are looking for a premium price uh, and so that they get rich quick, but you could still sell that product at a far lesser price and still move product and make your money from volumes. So there is a quality aspect, there is the volumes aspect, there is the cost of production aspect. Those three, when they are looked into, we are able to see every product supplied. I want to believe that there's possibly even an export market for what we see here in Monde Valley. But obviously, it's something that is subject to exploration and investigation, and then we'll see the possibilities as they go forward. Thank you very much.